I had always thought of our marriage as a partnership. My wife and I had built a life together, a home, routines, shared dreams, and the kind of comfort that comes from years of familiarity. I trusted her completely, perhaps too much. She was ambitious, charming, and deeply admired in her professional circle, qualities I had always admired and supported. I thought we were on the same team. It all changed at a company dinner. It was supposed to be a casual evening, an opportunity to network, celebrate a successful quarter, and enjoy a night out with colleagues. I was proud of her achievements and had accepted the invitation to support her. I had no reason to suspect anything was wrong, no inkling that the evening would shatter my perception of her completely. The dinner started normally enough. We were seated among her colleagues at a long table, the soft clink of cutlery and the hum of conversation filling the room. I smiled, made polite conversation, and watched her laugh, as I had so many times before. But there was a tension beneath the surface that I didn't notice at first. Something subtle in the way she leaned into her colleagues, the glances exchanged, the private smiles that didn't include me. Then it happened. She excused herself for a moment and stepped away to take a phone call. When she returned, her demeanor had changed. The warmth I was used to was gone, replaced by a subtle, calculating confidence. As the evening progressed, I noticed a colleague she had spoken with frequently, someone she had introduced casually earlier in the night. But now, their interaction went beyond polite conversation. There were touches that lingered, whispers that drew quick glances and stifled laughter. At first, I tried to convince myself I was imagining things. Maybe they were just friends, or maybe I was reading too much into normal workplace familiarity. But the signs were undeniable. Their connection, the way she interacted with him in front of others, while ignoring my presence, and the subtle attempts to hide it all at the same time. It was deliberate. I felt my chest tighten, a familiar knot of anxiety mixed with disbelief. Later, after dessert and the formalities were done, I confronted her quietly in a corner. My voice was calm, controlled, though my heart was racing. "What's going on between you and him?" I asked. I expected excuses, perhaps denial, maybe even a soft lie to smooth over the evening. But the answer I got was far worse than any I could have imagined. Her expression didn't falter. She looked at me, eyes cold and calculating, and said nothing at first, as if weighing her words. Then, finally, she admitted it. Not vaguely, not hesitantly, but openly. She had been seeing him, and our marriage was no longer a priority. The betrayal was no accident, no fleeting mistake. It had been planned, deliberate, and hidden in plain sight. I felt as if the floor had dropped out beneath me. Everything I thought I knew about us, everything I had trusted and believed, was suddenly revealed to be a lie. The warmth, the intimacy, the shared life, they had all been replaced by secrecy and deceit. My mind raced through the last few months, the subtle signs I had ignored, the small inconsistencies I had brushed aside. It all made sense now, but the realization only deepened the sting. I left the dinner quietly, excusing myself without a scene, though inside, I was in turmoil. On the drive home, I replayed the evening repeatedly, analyzing every glance, every touch, every word that had led to this moment. The betrayal was complete, and yet, in the shock and heartbreak, I felt a strange clarity. I realized that confrontation would accomplish nothing now. My role was no longer to salvage, to plead, or to justify my feelings. It was to reclaim control over my life. The following days were painful, but decisive. I separated from her, took steps to secure my personal space, and began to rebuild a life that had been overshadowed by betrayal. The process wasn't quick, and the heartbreak lingered, but with each day I regained clarity and perspective. I realized that her actions reflected her choices and character, not my worth. In time, I came to understand a fundamental truth about betrayal. It often hides behind normalcy, subtly and quietly, until the right moment exposes it fully. It is not always dramatic, but when revealed, it leaves no room for denial. The company dinner was that moment for me, a public setting, an unavoidable confrontation with reality, and the undeniable proof of her disloyalty. Looking back, that night remains etched in my memory as a turning point. It taught me about vigilance, about the importance of recognizing subtle signs, and about the necessity of setting boundaries. The betrayal hurt deeply, but it also forced me to confront the truth, step away, and reclaim my life. The company dinner, which should have been a celebration, became the catalyst for change. It revealed her choices, her priorities, and her lack of regard for our marriage. But it also revealed my own strength, resilience, and capacity to walk away with dignity. Betrayal, I realized, is a harsh teacher, but surviving it, learning from it, and refusing to be defined by it is the ultimate act of empowerment.